So now in 5.6, we're going to be graphing in the coordinate plane. Okay, so let's make sure we can describe the location of these various points. All right, so A here, right, is at 2, 4. So you put parentheses around it and a comma between them. Now, the number that goes from X always goes first. If you say 4, 2, 4, 2 is over here. We have to say the 2 first. You always get your first number from X, your second number from Y. That's how this works. So A is at 2, 4. B, come down here and get 3, 8. B is at 3, 8. C is at 6, 8. You come get the 6, then you get that same 8 for the B was on. D, you get 9 first, and then 5. So it's at 9, 5. Now, how long, this is the symbol for line segment. Right? This is a line segment, part of a line. It is 1, 2, 3 units long. It is not, if you got 4, don't count the dots. That's not how you do it. You don't count the intersections either. It's how many boxes long that is, and that's 3 boxes long, or 3 units long. We've done that. Okay, so this is the coordinate plane. Now, we have been doing the graphs have all been over here where everything is nice and positive. But when you go past 0 this way, you've got negatives, right? You get -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. And if you go down below here, you also get negatives. Right? All right, so every point in the coordinate graph is described in an ordered pair. That's what an ordered pair. An X and a Y with a comma and parentheses. The X coordinate. So that first number is called the X coordinate because it comes from X. So where is E? Well, E is at 10, comma 10. But that first 10 is that X10. The second comma is 10 from here. That 10 is missing because Y is in the way. That often happens on graphs. Now F, where is F? So F, you have to go down here first and get the 1. Then you get the 9. One of the things students do is, well, you're right next to 9. Why don't I write that one first? No, the X coordinate has to go first. Because you write 9, 1, that's there. Now, this is where these dots are. It's the letter, you can write the letter anywhere around the dot. So we're never telling you where the letter is. It's where the point, it's actually a point, or the dot is, not where the letter is. So let's do some more of those. Or let's do G and H. So now G, you have to go down here and get that 0 first. Then you write the 6. If you wrote 6, 0, that's over there, where you got the 6 first. It's 0, 6. You always get the first number from X. All right, so where is H? H is at 4, comma 5. Halfway between 4 and 6 is 5. Where is J? J is at halfway between 6 and 8 is at 7. Halfway between 2 and 4 is 3. 7, comma 3. K is at 0, 0. All right, we've been talking about 0, 0 many days. And where is L? L is at 9, and it's at 0. It's getting that 0. Right? It's not at 9, 1. All right, it's at 9, 0. So the first number is called the what? The X coordinate. What's the second number called then? So now we're going to do this in the coordinate plane. This is the coordinate plane. And the word plane here just means flat surface. And so it contains 4 quadrants. So we're going to label the quadrants. So this line here and this line here are the fences between the 4 sections. So this section, it says label the quadrants I to IV. What the heck is I to IV? Well, that's Roman numerals. Now, the Romans thought that 1 should be written as I, and 2 should be written as 2 I's, and 3 should be written as 3 I's, like that. And they thought that 5, I'm going to skip for a second, 5 should be written as V. And so they felt that 4 was 1 less than 5, and so it is IV. Okay, that's how it works. So we're going to label these using 1, 2, 3, 4 in Roman numerals. It's just tradition. So this section where we've been graphing most of our time is quadrant 1. Then it goes counterclockwise, the opposite of a clock. And so over here is quadrant 2. So everything over in this section is quadrant 2. Now we're stopping at -10 and +10 in each direction, but this goes on forever. It's just that I stop the boxes at 10 and -10. This quadrant over here is quadrant 3, and that means that's quadrant 4. There are 4 quadrants. The prefix quad means 4. So it's sort of redundant that I'm saying there's 4 quadrants. All right, so what's the order for E? All right, so you get the first number from X, so it's 8. You get the second number from Y, 1. Okay, so we should all have been able to do that. Now, where is F? You have to come down and get the first number from X. What number is that? It is -2. What is this number there? Halfway between, it is 5. So F is at -2, 5. Let me actually write these. So this is 8, 1 there. And this is -2, 5. All right, so you can guess what's next, G. So now, remember, the first number comes from X. So you have to go up to X. You have to go up there and get -7. That's what's between -6 and -8. Comma. And then you come over here. And what's halfway between -2 and -4? -3. So G is at -7, -3. So where's H? That must be the last one, right? So for H, you go up and get the +4, and then you go over to Y. You get the second number from Y every time, -4. Now, what does it say? In each quadrant, the combination of signs, positive and negative, for X and Y is different. So let's make a little table. In quadrant 1, right, where E was, they're both positive. In quadrant 3, down here where G is, they're both negative. Those are the two easy to remember. Now, in quadrant 2, over here, the first one is negative and the second one is positive. And then finally in quadrant 4, the first one is positive and the second one is negative. That's how it works, right? Those are all the possible combinations of positive and negative. So let's practice. All right, so the X and Y axes. Now, this is pronounced axes. That's the plural of axis. So I want you to write X axis with an I. If there's one, it's I, axis. And I want you to write Y axis. Now, the X axis is this line where you got the X coordinates. This line here, where you got the Y coordinates, is called the Y axis. Now, notice these points here are not in quadrants. They're on the fences between the quadrants, and those are called the axes, the plural. All right, so give the order pair for J. So what do you think J is? Well, there's a 6 there that's from X. But what's the other one? Well, you don't write the 0 twice. It says 6, 0. J is at 6, 0. So let's keep going. Where's K? Okay, now remember, this is probably the hardest one. You have to go down here to X and get that point first. It's 0. It's 0, 9. Remember, if you write 9, 0, that's way over there. This is 0. K is at 0, 9. And remember, it's where the dot is, not where K is, the letter. It's where the dot is. All right, so where's L? All right, so it's on -4 for the X coordinate, and then you go over and get the 0. M, where's M? Again, you have to go up to X first and get the 0. Then you write the -5. Where is O? That's 0, 0, right? And don't write 2 zeros on the graph because it just gets too crowded. But notice all of these had zeros in it. If you have a 0 in your points, it means it's on one of the axes. If it's on one of the axes, it has 1 or 2 zeros, right? J and L are on on the x-axis. The y-coordinate is 0 in them. And right, K and M, we're on the y-axis. The x-coordinate is 0. It's the opposite. If it's on the y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0. If it's on the x-coordinate, the x-axis, the y-coordinate is 0. It works that way. Origin is on both places. Oh, I gave away the next question. What is the special name of 0, 0? It's the origin. And so the beginning of this graph is at 0, 0. This graph goes on forever. That's why there are arrows on all the ends, in all directions. It doesn't stop at 10 and negative 10. 0, 0 is the start, and it originates at 0, 0. The origin means the beginning. The first story in a superhero story where the superhero gets their powers is called the origin story. It's the beginning of the comic book, right? Later comic books or later movies that just have adventures where you already know what their powers are not origin stories, right? Origin means the beginning. That's 0, 0's special name. All right, so let's practice here. So P is that x is 5, y is 0. It's on the x-axis. It's on this thing. Q, you have to go down here and get the 1 first, and then you write the 9. It's at 1, 9. That's where its point is, its stop. R, now we're starting to put negatives in it, right? You go down to x and get the negative 4. You'll always go to x first no matter what. Then you go to y and get the positive 4. S, you go down and get the negative 6. You go over and get the positive 8. T, you go up now to the x-axis, get negative 9, and you go over to the y and get negative 2. U, you go up and get this negative 2 right there, and then you go over and get this negative 5. V, you go up and get the positive 1, then you go over, get the negative 3. W, you go up, get the positive 7, and then you go over and get the negative 4. Remember, this section, both coordinates are positive. This section, both coordinates are always negative. Over here, you start with a negative, then you have a positive. Over here, you start with a positive and then with a negative. When you're on an axis, then you've got a 0 in it. P is not in any quadrant. It's on the x-axis. It's on the fence between two of the quadrants. So now we're going to go backwards. You're going to plot the point 5, 1. So put a dot there. So x is 5, right? The x goes first, the y goes second, and the y is 1. You just put a dot there and put an A by it. Anywhere. The A can be anywhere, but the dot has to be on 5, 1. All right, so put a point B at 5, negative 3. So x is 5, y is negative 3, is B right there. C, negative 7, 6. So we always start with x. So negative 7, positive 6. So you're going up here. That's C. D is negative 7, but negative 4. So you're going down here. So notice what we did there, right? We had positive, positive. We had negative, negative down here in D. I didn't make them in order. Then this one started with positive and negative. This one started with negative and ended with positive. And you're in the 4 different quadrants. E, all right? Both are negative. We know where we're going to be. So we're at negative 1. X is negative 1. Y is negative 10. Way down there, that's E. And by the way, I may have done this or not. I could put negative 11 if I want. If I said that was negative 11, you just put it there. It goes past the grid. F is negative 4, 0. So X is negative 4. Y is 0. F goes right there on the x-axis. G, X is 0. Y is negative 3. Goes right there. That's G. So notice those. This one is on the x-axis. It ends in a 0. This one's on the y-axis. Right? It starts with a 0. Right, so now you can also put the points in a t-table, right? We've been using tables that look just like this. So let's do that. So let's go in alphabetical order, start with H. So H, X is 5, Y is 0. You don't have to label things. I didn't put I because I looks like a 1, so we hardly ever use that letter. J now, what's the combination for J? You have to put the 0 first, then the 7, right? Because X is 0, Y is 7. K, you have to go down and get the X first, -5, and Y is 9. And L, you have to go up and get the X first, -5, and Y is -6. So right, we've measured lengths already. This is sort of repetitive, but this is line segment ST. That's what 1 unit looks like. We've talked about that. So what are the rest of them? UV is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units long. That's line segment UV. WZ is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units long. Now notice, right, one thing you can do is you could do 3 units on that side of the y-axis, and then it's 7 units on that side of the y-axis, and add them together and get 10 units that way instead of just counting it one at a time. Totally allowed. So let's practice. So plot the points A, B, C, D. So A is 2, 4. B is -5, 4. C is -5, -7 down here. And D is 2, -7 right there. Label the quadrant of each point. All right, so this is quadrant 1. A is in quadrant 1. C is in quadrant 3. This is it goes counterclockwise, the opposite of a clock. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and then D is in quadrant 4. Draw a rectangle ABCD and find the perimeter. Ooh, all right, so let's draw a rectangle, right? We're going to connect the dots. So what is the perimeter of this rectangle we just drew? Well, it is, you add up the sides per perimeter. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the bottom. Now, does that mean the top is 7? Yeah, that's a rule of rectangles. If the opposite sides have to be the same length, or it's not a rectangle. And then this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this side is 11. So we add up the sides, and we get 22 plus 14. And what am I getting? 36 units long is the perimeter of that rectangle. Let's connect those a little bit nicer. All right, so plot the points. So the first point is 5, 0, X is 5, Y is 0. The second point is X is -6, Y is 0. The next point is X is -6, Y is -7 down here. The next point is -1, +7 up here. We're not making a rectangle. -1. And the next one is 0, -8. That's down here. Which points are not in any quadrant? Right, 0, -8 is on the y-axis, and 5, 0 and -6, 0 are on the x-axis. Now you can just look that these are on the x-axis, x-I-X, and the y-axis, but you also can just look. If it ends in a 0, we're on the x-axis. If it starts with a 0, you're on the y-axis. You're not in a quadrant. List the 6 places a point can be in the quadrant plane. All right, so there's 4 quadrants. So we can go quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4. Where else? There's the x and axis and the y-axis, or you could have written that x and y. That are the 6 locations. The origin is not a 7th place. It is on both the x and y axis. Good luck on the homework.